There's this narrative we're all fed, right?
Oh, constantly.
The one that says parenthood is the ultimate purpose.
Yeah.
That kids are this incredible blessing.
And you'll never know, real love until you have them.
Exactly. Society frames it as, well, not just a choice, but life's main event, the grand prize.
Right.
But what happens when that polished story, the one on social media, doesn't quite line up with the day-to-day reality?
The messy, exhausting reality.
Yeah. What happens when the person you used to be is just gone or, packed away somewhere? Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's try it.
Our mission today is to dive into a really surprising and honestly, a very quiet truth we found in the sources.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that some parents, underneath it all, are secretly, genuinely jealous of childless people. We're going to explore that stark contrast between the two lifestyles.
And it's so important to add the nuance right away for you, the listener. We have to be crystal clear.
Yes.
This envy is not regret. It absolutely does not mean these parents don't love their children.
Not at all.
That love is profound. But as the source material really shows, love just doesn't erase the massive, unrelenting sacrifices, the sheer exhaustion.
Right.
And this feeling, this mix of love and longing, it used to be completely taboo. But the research now suggests that this conversation is finally starting to happen more openly. It's like a dam that's just starting to break.
So if we look at the source material, this transformation into parenthood is described as a total identity overhaul. It changes everything.
It really does. It's not a small adjustment.
No, it's a complete restructuring of your body, your finances, your relationships, and maybe, most of all, your sense of self.
Your whole identity.
Think about the measurable things first. Your body, your money, your sleep, they are all permanently different.
But the bigger shift is that loss of time and what some researchers call your intellectual bandwidth.
Yes, the things you used to chase, big dreams, hobbies, quiet time, they all have to take a back seat.
And what's driving this is what sociologists call the intensive parenting mandate. It defines modern parenting as incredibly intense, relentless.
We're so far past that old model where one income could cover a family.
Oh, absolutely. Today, the numbers alone are just staggering. The data shows that in a lot of big cities, childcare for 2 kids can cost more than the median annual salary.
It can be more than your rent or your mortgage.
Right. It's not just a line item in a budget. It's this huge economic weight.
And the work doesn't stop when you clock out of your day job. This is that famous second shift.
The unpaid job.
Exactly. You come home exhausted and you start cooking, managing homework, driving to activities, breaking up fights.
And let's not forget the school projects that now require, a parent with an engineering degree to build a volcano.
The sources really hit on this idea of time poverty. Parents are spending more direct hours with their kids than ever before, even with both parents working.
They're just constantly juggling, constantly stressed, and running on fumes.
And this is where it gets really brutal. Because of the phone in your hand, you finally collapse on the couch at 10 p.m.
If you're lucky.
Right. You pull out your phone, and the social media sting hits you. You see your childless friends.
There it is.
They're on a beach in Greece, holding a cocktail, not a scraped knee, not a dirty diaper.
Just a cocktail.
Or if someone posts that picture of a beautiful brunch with the caption, "Woke up at noon, lol."
And that woke up at noon, that's the trigger. That's what the sources pointed to.
Yeah.
Because the parent, seeing that, hasn't slept past 7 a.m. in, 5 years? Maybe longer.
The contrast is just so stark. Your messy, stressed reality versus this image of effortless freedom. It's the perfect incubator for envy.
And it's not about wishing them ill. It's about a desperate yearning for that peace.
So, to sum up this first part, the core feeling isn't, "I regret my kids." It's something much more nuanced. It's parents love their children, but they miss themselves.
They miss the person who had the energy and the time to exist without this constant crushing weight.
And that feeling leads us right into our second section.
What's fascinating here is what the childless adult actually represents to that exhausted parent.
It's an untouched timeline.
Exactly, an untouched timeline. A life that hasn't been completely rewritten by exhaustion and nonstop responsibility. No pressure to get everything right for another human.
They don't want to give up their kids.
No, but they crave a break from the weight of it all.
So let's break down those specific freedoms that parents see as a rare luxury. It's more than just sleep, right?
So much more. It's about autonomy. Real autonomy over your own life.
Childless people choose their time. They can take a last-minute trip. They can stay out late without doing the math on the morning after.
And if they want to learn a new skill, they can actually dedicate 2 solid hours to it, uninterrupted.
And they control their mental space, their silence. Parents are starved for silence.
That's the ultimate luxury, isn't it? Just quiet. Without someone yelling, "Mom," or needing something every 3 minutes. The freedom to just think, that's a gift.
It really is. And then you look at the future, at the money.
Oh, the contrast gets even sharper there.
A childless person is planning for retirement, maybe a passion project. Their money is for their own fulfillment, their own safety net.
Meanwhile, the parent is planning for daycare fees, college savings, braces, sports. Their future is this blur of mandatory spending that stretches out for decades. 2 timelines, not one.
And I think the deepest part of the longing comes from this irony. Most parents know that life. They lived it.
They remember it.
They remember what that pure freedom felt like, waking up and just deciding what your day would be.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the envy so real. It's not abstract, it's a memory.
Following that thread of longing, it brings us to the psychological core of this feeling. The sources define it as grief.
Grief.
It's grief for the version of themselves that existed before children. There's a term for this, actually, ambiguous loss.
What's that?
It's grief for something that's lost but not gone in a clear way. Like that old self, the ambitious, spontaneous, well-rested self is gone, but you can't have a funeral for it.
And there's no closure.
Exactly. So the longing just persists.
And here's where it gets really interesting. Because our society makes it almost impossible for parents to even talk about this grief.
There's this motherhood mandate that says any sacrifice for your kids should be joyful.
So if a parent admits they miss their old life, the immediate response is,
well, you shouldn't have had kids then.
That brutal, simplistic shutdown. It just shames them back into silence.
And that response is so damaging because it implies you can't feel 2 things at once. It forces parents into this toxic choice.
Yeah.
Either you're a perfectly happy, sacrificial parent, or you regret your kids. There's no middle ground.
We have to make room for the nuance, for the honesty.
Acknowledging how hard it is, that's not the same as regret. You can love your children more than anything and still mourn your old freedom. That longing is a legitimate form of grief.
Right. It's recognizing that the loss of self is a sacrifice, a real one. And if we can't talk about that loss, we are completely failing to support parents who are clearly burning out. Okay, so let's shift to the tension that this all creates, between the 2 groups. It's very visible online.
It's like a suffering competition where both sides just feel completely unseen.
You see it all the time. A parent will post something like, "You don't know busy until you have kids."
And the intention is just to vent, but the effect is to dismiss everyone else's struggle.
And on the other side, a childless person will mention they're exhausted from work or stress.
And a parent chimes in with, "You have no idea what tired is." It just creates this endless, pointless argument.
So why are they fighting? The source material shows that childless people face their own pressures too, right?
A huge amount. Not the pressure of time, maybe, but the pressure to be exceptional, to justify the space that children would have taken up.
They get accused of being selfish or immature.
Or not understanding what life is about. There's this constant need, especially for women, to justify their choice, as if their autonomy is something strange that needs an explanation.
When really it's just a valid choice.
It's a profound choice that aligns with their own dreams and their own mental peace. Not wanting children isn't a character flaw. It shouldn't require a defense.
So at the end of the day, what's needed is just compassion.
Mutual recognition. Acknowledging that both lives are difficult in ways the other isn't.
The sources really summarize it well. Neither path wins or loses. Both have unique joys, unique forms of loneliness, unique sacrifices.
We just have to stop using our own life as the ruler to measure someone else's.
When we pull it all together, the sources leave us with this really clear trade-off for each choice.
A dual nature, yeah.
For parents, you lose a lot of freedom, but you gain this undeniable sense of purpose, a clear why for everything you do.
And for childless adults, you protect that autonomy, you have control, but sometimes that brings up bigger questions about legacy, about aging.
There's beauty and struggle in both paths.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
the goal isn't to say one is better. The goal is for each side to learn from the other.
What do you mean by that?
Well, parents could try to borrow a little spontaneity, a little rest from the childless lifestyle, reclaim small pockets of that old freedom.
And childless adults.
They might learn from the fierce patience and commitment that parents practice every single day.
So envy really is just a spotlight.
That's a great way to put it. It's a spotlight on what you feel is missing in your own life. Parents crave rest and autonomy. Childless people sometimes seek that external purpose.
The ultimate truth the sources leave you to think about is this. If our society creates such a stark choice, total freedom or total commitment, how can we redesign things to allow for both?
To allow for purpose and pockets of freedom no matter which path you're on?
So what does this all mean? It means your choice is valid, but understanding the price paid for the other side's choice, that's the key to breaking down this silent divide. We've enjoyed taking this deep dive with you.